Poul's Kitchen. I'm Chef Poul. Filming for me today is Amy, my lovely wife. Today I'm going to fill a popular request, but I'm going to do a little differently. I've gotten a lot of requests for vegan hamburgers. Very popular the last time I made them. Even somebody who doesn't actually like real food, she'd rather eat McDonald's and garbage all day, being a diabetic, which is kind of amusing. She actually begged for more of our vegan hamburgers. So today, I'm going to take some spaghetti squash and we're going to have some spaghetti sauce hot sandwiches. Now, I know what you're saying, but before we do anything else, we want to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Because once this goes in, it's going to sit in there for a good 40 minutes. So start preheating, it's important. And I know what you're saying. Oh man, this is going to taste like garbage. Why are you making that? You know what? Sometimes you have to learn how to eat a little differently. And it's only because, well, sometimes we get a little sick, sometimes we're cooking for other people, and you know what? It doesn't hurt to broaden our spectrum to what we can physically do. So, you know what? It's not going to kill us to make something different. So, I've got quite a few vegan friends, and they really want to take part in Poul's Kitchen. So, first off, you're going to take your spaghetti squash and you're going to slice them down. And no, we're not going to be eating this quite like this. Amy did this for me and forgot the label. Big whoop-de-doo. So, we're going to take these and we're going to try to space them out enough that we can fit all of them in here. I got some left over, probably not going to be important, but you know what, whatever. I'm just going to cut some of this off here because I don't like waste. So what we're going to do now, after we fill this, get this tightly squeezed in, and believe me, it is pretty tight. We're just going to put a little bit of olive oil. Now notice how I have a brush. See? Now, this is the one part I wanted to make sure that I did while you're watching. See all these seeds? They need to go. So while they're in here, you're just going to scoop them out. And I'm not going to take the whole video to show you that, but I just wanted to do one here so that you could see what I'm doing. Yes, your hands are going to get dirty and they're going to look like a mess. Big whoop-de-doo. You can almost use them like pumpkin seeds, really, or make a little bit of a prank if you want. So, when you got all that done, you got your oven preheated, you're going to throw this in there for 40 minutes. So, when I'm done this, and this is in the oven, I'm going to be right back. So, we'll be back. Alright, so we're back. So, we got it all cleaned out now, and so what we're going to do now, we're going to take some pepper. Make sure it's all peppered around. This helps as it cooks. This part I forgot to mention before, so you know what? We'll bring it on camera and make sure that slightly salt. Looks like I'm heavy doing it, but you gotta remember that you gotta take a little bit to get all the sides here, right? Season this now because it really helps. Because at the end, it's all the middle stuff that's coming out, and that's what's going to provide our meat for our sandwich. So our oven's preheated, and now we're going to set this in the oven for 40 minutes. So I'm just going to set a timer here because I know my wife's forgetful. And also nasty too. We put Oscar in the bedroom today because he's been jumping up and down quite a bit. So I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan here, and Amy's going to come in so you can actually see what we're doing. So we're going to put the oven on 6. Now this is kind of our sauce that's going to mix and everything. If you're going to make things vegan and you're going to try to make things a little bit more meaty, you've got to at least try to make things look a little bit. So I've got some mushrooms I'm going to put in here. They're going to get eaten up anyway, so it doesn't matter. So if you're going to do meat, like a meat substitute, I can't emphasize enough that you really want to make things look as much of meat as you can. It's pretty important. So I've got 2 cans of tomatoes, I've got my mushrooms, and that's, you know what I mean, this is what we're going to pour over when everything's done. And what you want to do is take a spatula, break your mushrooms down. You don't need to cut them. But there's some important things that you got to remember to do. So first we're going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar. It's going to eat away at some of the tartness on the tomatoes, because it's not a tomato dish at all. But we do need a little bit of this to help break down and give it a little bit of assimilated meat taste. The most important thing you need is paprika. Yes, it makes a little bit of a bite to it, but it also gives it a little bit of smoke flavor, and it helps with the taste. So you got some onion salts. We got some garlic powder. I'm putting quite a bit on here. It's pretty important. Then we're going to put some pepper, and I'm going to, be pretty heavy on this. Now normally I make things one at a time, and that's, you know what I mean, it's usually if I do it too fast, then I really don't want to film it that way, because I don't think I'm really educating you on anything. I'm not really showing you anything. You're just watching me move too quick, and I don't like that. But here, our spaghetti squash is in the oven. It's going to be there for 40 whole minutes. That's 40 minutes at its downtime, right? So we're putting some salt on here. These 2 are really the only main ingredients. We're going to use your choice of whether you want to use a bun, a sub bun. We're going to use some. We're going to use sandwich bread. We're going to do that. We're going to put a whole bunch of red pepper, crushed red pepper. When you serve this, you can put a little bit of onion, lettuce, a slice of tomato, whatever you want to do, really. So when you got all your spice in here, just stir it up really good so it's all incorporated. You don't want to take a bite into this and then get an, oh my gosh, I got a big bite of paprika. You know what I mean? You have to really stir it in. And for what it's worth, you really don't need to have this in here very long. You really don't. When I'm done with the camera here, I'm going to have Amy take a knife, and she's going to just gently cut in the mushroom a little bit as she stirs it. I'm the chef, just doesn't necessarily mean I do all the cooking. I do the instructions. I do a lot of the cooking here, by the way. Amy, well, Joe can say that Amy doesn't touch my kitchen. We do share the kitchen, by the way. We have our own little jokes, and if you know me well enough, you know I'm not serious about pretty much anything, so it's just me. But this is almost like spaghetti sauce. When you see it start bubbling and everything else, then it's done. And this is going to sit off the corner right there for a little bit. And it doesn't need to be hot when we're done that in the next 40 minutes. But Amy, can you get a good shot of that for me, please? I mean, you can use a boiling pot if you really rather. It doesn't really make a difference. I got this really nice wok, so I mean, I've got the room for it, so it's not a big deal. But when this is done, you'll understand a little bit better. So when this is all said and done, that'll be off the corner, and the spaghetti squash will be taken out. Now, when you take the spaghetti squash out after the 40 minutes, you're going to put it on a clothing rack, and you're going to let it set for maybe half an hour. Don't just take your hands and start taking it. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself really bad. Don't do it. It's the stupidest thing you'll ever do. Set it out, leave it set for about 30 minutes. I'm not going to make a video of 30 minutes of waiting. I know Amy kind of wants me to, but that's just Amy's personality. She's Dutch, what can I say? So that's it for 30 minutes, and when the 30 minutes are over, I'll have one of them on here and I'll show you what it's like to dredge. We'll finish dredging them to get the stuff out. We'll start putting that in here, and then we'll start plating up. So, and by the way, I'm just using regular toast. I'm not going to toast or anything like that. You can. So for the meantime, I'm going to let you go for now. And like I said, when we're back, we'll be ready to start plating and start getting things ready. It'll start looking like something. So what it'll look like, I'm not sure, but we'll leave that up to Amy. So welcome back. So I'm going to get Amy to come in nice and close here. This is all pulled down, and so basically, I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to do all this on camera because this is kind of going to be a little time consuming. But all you're going to do is you're going to come by and you're going to scrape off it doesn't really take that long, to be honest with you, but I just don't really feel like going all there. And you know what I mean, we're not making spaghetti, so but just tear it off like this. And then what I'm going to do is, after each one, I'm going to start pouring. I'm just going to start putting them in here. Nice little space to put them. So when I got all this done, I'm going to come back. We're going to start finishing it up. We're almost done. So we'll see you in a few minutes. So we're almost done. So what I'm going to do here is, Amy will show you here. And I'm going to put the sauce back and heat up just a little bit. Why? Because we're almost done, and I kind of like to get the sauce a little hot, just to warm this up a little bit. Now, this is a very low calorie food, so I mean, it's beautiful because you can do just about anything you want with this. If you want to make spaghetti, and if you want to search down our videos, we've actually done that in the past. Is it the same as spaghetti noodles? No, and they're not, and that's God's honest truth here. But, however, they're not meant to be. They're meant to be a little different, and it's vegan, right? Vegan doesn't mean bad. Now, a lot of people are going to take a bad attitude and say, oh, well, it's vegan, and it's not going to taste good. You know what? You're wrong. 100%. There are some vegan stuff in here, I'll tell you, I'm not even going to try. My life is kind of on it. It just don't look good, and I'm just not into it. I've had some stuff I really haven't liked before, and it's turned me off quite bad. But if you want to show me something that that has good possibility, you know what, I'm game for it. So there's our spaghetti squash. I'm going to get this out of my way, and I'm going to rinse my hands off. It's a little sticky. I mean, we also use a bit of olive oil on that too, right? But the thing is, and you guys got to realize this, when it comes to things that are vegan, it's not all bad. It just means it's all vegetables and plants and other things. Vegans are people who have a strong belief in not eating animals. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that. But you know what? We all have a belief about something, and this is theirs. It's not bad, and it's not saying it's wrong. It's just not for everybody. So, you know, try to keep an open mind, because some of it's actually quite good. That I've actually fed vegan stuff to people that are actually carnivores, and they like it. So over here, we've got our sauce, and we're just going to heat this up just a little bit until we see a little bit more bubbling. Now, I think I made a little bit too much sauce because we're not going to use it. I might throw some spaghetti noodles in there later, whatever. There's lots of things I can do. It's already a really good spaghetti sauce. If you look at the texture of this, and this is why I like canned tomatoes. They're fresher, they just have a much better taste to it. So we're just going to let that heat up a little bit. And when we stir this in here, it's not going to be overly drowned in it. It's not a liquid sandwich. Now, like I said, over here we have some of our condiments. This is what Amy wants. Not so bad, right? It's bread, some mustard, onion, and tomato. Now, you could choose to make this into a Philly cheesesteak if you have vegan cheese. One of the reasons I didn't, because I don't have vegan cheese, so to some of my vegan friends who are going to watch this, I don't want to insult them by putting something not vegan on something I'm saying is. I'm not going to do that. You can make this into a hamburger. I've seen many people do this, and a little bit different variation of what I'm doing, but you know what? I think this is going to turn out good. So we're just going to take this in here, and we put something in here, we're just going to give it a stir, you know what I mean? Because it's very important that, you know, this isn't going to be overly sauce. You want to taste sauce, but you don't want it to be just all sauce. Like I said, I think I made way too much of the sauce. But that's alright. In this house, we make too much of everything. It won't go to waste. If I know someone that needs it, they'll get it. We don't throw food away here. If it's old and expired and Amy let it go to waste, I'll make Amy eat it.
No.
That's why she feels sick all the time, that's why.
No.
I think that's about all we need here. And yeah, this is way more than we're going to put on one sandwich. I'm probably going to have one later. I'm just not hungry right this second. I just wanted to get the video done. So you're just going to start really, really good. It's going to have some mushroom already built into it. And we're going to plate this up, and then we're going to make Amy eat a little bit of this in front of you. So how's this look so far, Amy?
Really good.
So get a good look at it, Amy, because I don't really care what you see. I want the audience to see. What do you think, guys? Remember, it's vegan, so now, I hope my good friend Computer Tech watches this today, because he says he's also vegan. I'm not quite sure what his motivations are. He works in a firm, so I'm kind of confused by that one, but he's his own guy, I guess. And Computer Tech, no sheep were hurt in the making of this video. So we're going to take a spoon, and we're just going to lump some of this beautiful spaghetti squash on here. Looks like enough, doesn't it?
Yes.
Now just asking me to cut up, you know, a small slice, and she cuts up the whole thing. Good job, Amy. Now it looks a little messy. That's Amy's fault. I'm just going to wash my hands here, and Amy's going to sit down here in a second. And I shall dub this the vegan boppy sandwich. That's right, computer tech, I'm talking to you. So I'm going to steal the camera from Amy here. Amy, sit down there and eat your boppy sandwich. Completely vegan.
Mmm.
What's it taste like?
Tastes excellent.
What's it taste like? Does it come off as like pulled pork?
Yeah,
A little bit?
it does.
Or a lot?
A lot.
So did I do a good job?
Yes.
Boopy tastes good?
Mmm.
Tell the camera.
Very good.
What tastes good?
Boopy.
There we go. So from Poul and Amy, thank you for visiting Poul's Kitchen. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, join us on IRC, join us on Facebook. We'd love to see you. Have a great day.